called my father accidentally Daddy on television.
Daddy, Daddy, what happened there? Dad, are you intrigued?
It's so cute.
Why? It's not cute. It's repulsive and creepy and weird. Who else is on the show?
Whose balls are juiced?
What was that, Daddy?
That, of course, is Billy Ray Cyrus. What else you got?
Whose balls are juiced?
Oh, yes, that is Elmo. Who else in the club?
Mayor Balls personally called him following the broadcast to correct his pronunciation, saying, quote, "Son, this is your mayor. I pronounce my name Balls."
I need to apologize. I honestly, until after the segment ended and we went to commercial break, had no idea that Jonathan Coachman was black.
Hope you enjoyed the Don Levatar Show on ESPN Radio.
World Star.
At Indeed, we understand that when it comes to hiring, it's important to have a large talent pool to choose from. But sometimes too many good options can be overwhelming. That's why Indeed doesn't just give you access to a large pool of job seekers. We also offer screener tools that let you instantly narrow down your search. Hone in on hiring with Indeed. Experience Indeed for yourself today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting at Indeed.com/promo. Terms and conditions apply.
Stugatz here to sleep really cool and comfortable this summer. Get rid of your heat-trapping mattress and get a Casper. Its breathable foams are designed to keep you cool all night long. Plus, it's softer under your shoulders and firmer under your hips for healthy alignment and extra support. Go to Casper.com and use code STU for $100 towards the purchase of select mattresses. That's Casper.com and use code STU for $100 towards the purchase of select mattresses. Additional terms and conditions apply. See Casper.com/terms.
This is halftime.
I need to ask my dad when his acne and stuff started to deceive.
Oh, the acne just moves to other spots, my friend. It moves from your face to your back or your shoulders.
Ugh.
It's like your hair eventually. All that nice hair on the top of your head, it's moving to other places on your body eventually.
The thing about the hair, Phil, is I only shampoo it once every 3 or 4 days because it's better for your hair follicles to do that way. So I shampoo, I'll condition, and I won't do anything to it one night. And so there's a little bit of natural grease that develops, and unfortunately that grease seeps down into my face, and that in turn boils over the occasional pimple or two, which I'm not fond of, but it's part of sacrificing one thing for another. And I care much more about my hair than my face, as you well know.
You are making it sound like you are entering the last stages of puberty here at the age of 24, Ty. I think you actually hit those stages just a couple years ago.
I wish I was your age, man, so I didn't have to deal with that.
Every weekday from 12 to 2, only on ESPN 95.3.
Hey, football's just around the corner. It's time to get the TV all lined out, and the multi-sports pack is free right now when you sign up for Dish.
We have been a Dish dealer for almost 25 years, and we know when football is right around the corner, so we're announcing it now. Football is that close because you get the multi-sport pack free, which has all the regional sports channels in it, and more importantly, the all-important NFL Red Zone is included in that packet, and that is free through the end of the year when you sign up for new Dish service.
Call WOW now, 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474. If you miss soccer, you're missing your local channels, then you got a solution for it.
Yeah, if you're angry because you missed the local channels, you can get Dish with a double the gift card offer. That's right. Instead of $100, we're going to double that because you're upset because you lost some of your local channels. But you got to call us this weekend, 877-305-DISH, before those channels come back.
This is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call now, 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for WOW, World of Wireless.
Sometimes a weak heart can give you strength you never knew you had.
When I first found out I had the heart condition, one of the first things that went through my mind was, I'm going to die young.
After overcoming a heart condition that kept her from pursuing her passions, the heart team at Baptist Health helped her prove you don't have to be invincible to be incredible.
I never think anymore about what I can't do.
Keep on inspiring. Keep on striving. Keep on amazing. To schedule an appointment with a physician, call 1-888-BAPTIST.
Summer's about to get hotter with a $50 instant rebate on select Bridgestone and Firestone tires from Jim Grizzle Tire Company. Now through July 31st, take advantage of the great deals on all-season Bridgestone and Firestone tires. With 3 convenient locations, 1610 North 7th and Van Buren, and Fort Smith at 3002 Towson Avenue, and the newest location at 8821 Rogers Avenue, Jim Grizzle Tire, where you can get a $50 instant rebate plus an additional $40 if you use your CFNA credit card. Restrictions apply. See store for details, subject to credit approval. Jim Grizzle Tire, people dedicated to serving people since since 1963.
Now is the time to book your fundraising and corporate golf outings for 2019 at Eagle Crest Golf Course. Call Eagle Crest now before all the best dates are gone. 479-632-8857. Eagle Crest Golf Course, voted best of the best golf course 2 years in a row. Let their staff take care of everything, from help with your tournament as well as food and beverage service. If you're looking for a place to host your corporate or charity event this year, call Eagle Crest Golf Course, 479-632-8857.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
A whole lot of sunshine with us today. Our high temperatures will be well on the way to the mid-90s. Afternoon heat index well into the 100s. Mainly clear, low 70s tonight. Sunshine or high low 90s tomorrow. And a few isolated showers and storms on Sunday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 43 days.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas! I love everything here! Give me that thing here! Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson.
You do a fantastic job on the radio. There's no one else in this league I'd rather listen to, so keep up the good work.
And Tye Richardson.
Your show is really, really good, guys.
2 more quarters, and after that, most of you will never play this game again.
See ya, D-Mac. Hold on, Matt Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown.
How about that Heisman, Mark Jones?
How do you like
it? Wide open again.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
All right, getting into the end of the week here. It's already been a little bit of a tough day for a lot of us who have been covering Arkansas athletics for a number of years now. You probably heard it this morning on the Morning Rush. I know the news came out while the guys were on the air of the untimely passing of former Razorback Mitch Petrus at the age of 32 years. Died of illness related to heat stroke. If you were outdoors in Arkansas yesterday, you definitely know what that's all about. And I had some interesting experiences doing a little radio with Mitch, and it's awfully difficult to take. You know, there's just some people. There's some people that have an energy about them that is unique. Some personalities are contrived, and there's no other way to put that. Some people are trying to be different, trying to be unique, and sometimes you have a little bit of a good BS meter. Tye Richardson in studio, you know what I'm talking about? You can kind of tell when somebody's just sort of, trying to manufacture fun things to say, manufacture a fun and goofy personality. We've been around people like that before. But Mitch Petrus was the real thing. I mean, he had as much just real energy just coming from his core as I've ever seen before in my life. And we'll have some remembrances of Mitch Petrus as we go throughout the show today. Our last day of the week, Tye Richardson is back in studio. It won't be a gloom and doom day here on Halftime because there are some other things to talk about, but you definitely have to get into what happened to Mitch and some remembrances of him, a guy that played with Darren McFadden and Felix Jones, Matt Jones, all those guys, part of the kind of brings you back a little bit to the good days of Arkansas football. We're talking about somebody that actually wore that uniform that everybody made such a big deal about last week. That Chad Morris said they're going to wear those uniforms as much as they possibly can throughout the 2019 season. Mitch wore that uniform for 3 years and wore it proudly and did great things at Arkansas. And of course, is also a former Super Bowl champion. So sad day, no doubt about that. I will say, Tye, I'm very happy that you made it back from Hoover safely, you and John. After I was a little nervous there, got to be honest. After 4 days of heavy work, journalistic work. I know you'll joke sometimes that we're not real journalists. I felt you were a real journalist at SEC Media Days, especially when you got your TV camera time during Chad Morris's talk. And then, debauchery isn't the right word to use, but late night, the night before. And then a lot of radio to do. Should I use the term debauchery? I wasn't there. I just didn't want to throw that out there without it being true.
You can use whatever term you want. So let off a little steam. I mean, I don't know what you want to call it. I've already set in place what karaoke song I'm going to sing next year if I get to if Tommy decides that I've earned the right to go to Atlanta for SC Media Days. And get this, Phil. So T-Bob Herbert, who does morning radio for Louisiana down in Baton Rouge, was telling John that there is a bar in Atlanta that has a band do the karaoke song that plays whatever the karaoke song you want. So it's kind of up to notch. We had a great time.
Like live karaoke, right?
Yeah, and I like that was my first time doing karaoke. John's been going for a while, Barrett Lee, and some others. And
that was your first? You were a karaoke virgin before Wednesday night?
At Media Days, yeah.
Oh, all right. I was going to say, I mean, all these things you told me about going out and things you've done in Fayetteville and all that, I was thinking, you have most definitely done karaoke before.
Honestly, it hadn't been a lot of experiences. Like, I can't think of a ton of them where I've seen plenty of my friends have done that. I typically don't have the personality or the talent, as you could tell from the video. And by the way,
neither of those things matter, by the way, when it comes to doing karaoke. You don't have to have talent. You don't have to have personality. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a nudge.
You got to have a flair, and John had that when he was doing Sexy Back, because John can't sing worth a you-know-what, but he was confident. He got up there, and he really got into it. And so I'm going to take away John's example and kind of use that to the best of my ability next year if I'm fortunate to get down there and hopefully have the gall and the wherewithal to do a decent song. I think I'm going to do My Own Worst Enemy by Lit. Are you familiar with that song?
Yes, I know that one.
I feel like that's
well.
We don't have to push the generational gap button because that's a song that is very popular amongst my generation, amongst your generation.
Tye, that's not just a song. That's a theme of life for some of us here. I think that I think that's my theme in life as well. So maybe you and I can rehearse this, and if I am lucky enough to find the time and the wherewithal to join you in Hoover next year, this can be a duet. What do you think?
I'm so down for that. And I guess you'll get to go to Hoover for the SEC baseball tournament. You'll get to go to Gabriel's if we make it down to Atlanta.
I'd forgotten. I said in Hoover next year.
Yeah.
It's in Atlanta next year.
It's in Atlanta, so we'll see what happens there. I'm really excited to see you get up on the stage and karaoke with some of the baseball broadcasters, and make sure there's a video. You don't have to put it on social media, but make sure there is like some form of tech that I can watch it and partake in it.
I want to walk into whatever this place is arm in arm with Jim Ellis and David Kellum, the guys who've been doing Ole Miss and Mississippi State baseball for 41 years, which is about as long as I've been alive. So if I could walk into there with the two of them, and we could perform all the girls I've loved before, by Willie Nelson and Julio Iglesias. I think that would be great stuff. So that's for the baseball tournament next year. You and I are going to perform My Own Worst Enemy in Atlanta. This is outstanding. All right, so enough with this upcoming football season. Can we just skip ahead to Media Days next year, which I kind of felt was a theme to a tweet when you left yesterday from Hoover with John, sitting in your own zip code in his giant truck. He'd said 2020 Media Days can't arrive soon enough. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, don't you want the football season first? Don't you at least want to see what happens over the upcoming 5 months, or really not in the next 5 months? We'd like to skip from today right to the start of practice, I think, and then you get your game. Do you want SEC Media Days before the upcoming season, Tye? I don't think that's the case.
No, it's not. It's not to that level. But there's certain events, certain things you get to do throughout the course of your career, and some of them you have friends or family or whoever. They're like, this is going to be so great, blah blah blah. Well, SEC Media Days has been one of the few events where every single time I've gone, it's delivered. And I know Tommy was mentioning on the Morning Rush, it might not be the same type of feeling for me when I'm doing it 10-plus years, because I think he said he went to Hoover 12 straight years, and it wasn't as fun to him as it was early on. But so far, in the 3 years I've gone, it's been a blast every single time. Now, from a news standpoint, there wasn't a ton of news that came out of SEC Media Days, but it was cool to make connections down there. It was cool to just be down in Hoover, do the karaoke thing, and just have a good time. And I feel like we got a lot of content, good content for the radio station, whether it was interviewing Chad Morris, Sosa Geem, Debois Whaley, Scooter Harris, and got a lot of good interviews from national guys, local guys. It worked out really well this week, and it definitely lived up to the hype.
All right, so just before we went on the air, I guess like the the culmination of media days is the media vote for the standings, and now everybody thinks is going to go out there. And it just came out, this was about like 35 or 40 minutes ago. And the media has spoken loudly, and they think Arkansas is the worst team in the SEC. That'd be the right way to put it, right? If you're counting votes, and they did count votes, not just the first place votes, but the overall tallies, Arkansas had the fewest votes. Or fewest points, I guess. They must find a way. How did you do the voting? Because I wasn't privy to the way the voting was done. You put in your standings 1 through 7. There must be a point total that is assigned to each slot in the standings. So whatever it all comes down to, Arkansas essentially, I mean, they're picked 7th in the SEC West, and really not even close. They're picked about 160 points behind Ole Miss. They have the fewest point total of any of the 14 teams in the SEC. Vanderbilt picked to finish last in the East, but they've got a little bit of a higher point total than Arkansas. So my takeaway from SEC Media Days involving Arkansas is that the media doesn't expect this team to be very much improved. And honestly, I mean, when you look at where the improvement can be, I think the improvement mostly going to be on offense. I'm not sure if there'll be much of an improvement on defense here in year number 2 for Chad Morris. But for me, the media speaks loudly. Arkansas dead last in the SEC, one of only 3 teams that did not even garner a first-place vote. Now, let me be honest here. Oh, actually, Texas A&M didn't garner a first-place vote either, which is a little surprising because Mississippi State, Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee, South Carolina, all those teams had one solitary writer that picked those teams to win their divisions, which is a little bit laughable. Really, that you pick Mississippi State in the West, that you would pick South Carolina in the East. But somebody's got to do things a little bit differently. Tye, you didn't pick South Carolina to win the East, did you?
I did not.
You didn't pick Mississippi State to win the West, did you?
So my West Division predicted order of finish was Bama, LSU, Texas A&M, Auburn, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and Arkansas.
And that's exactly the way the media, the point totals worked itself out.
Correct. And then Georgia, Florida, Missouri, Tennessee, South Carolina, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt is how I laid it out. And you were wondering about the scoring system, Phil. So it's on a 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 scale. Basically, It's just the inverse. So if you pick a team 7th, that means they get 1 point. If you pick a team first in the division, they get 7 points. And that's how they did that. They tallied it all up. But I'm kind of like you, man. I was kind of surprised at some of these first-place votes. I don't see Missouri edging out Georgia or Florida. I especially don't see South Carolina or Kentucky or Tennessee getting to first place in the East. And then in the West, LSU, for me, you can't pick LSU to beat Alabama until they actually do it. Hadn't done it since 2011. A lot of the games really haven't been that close in the games of late, whether it was under Les Miles or Eddie O. And that just doesn't make any sense to me. Auburn, yes, I know the Iron Bowl is always interesting, but I'm not sold on Auburn. Either Gatewood or Nick's going to start their quarterback. And then Mississippi State is another kind of perplexing decision for someone to vote them first place. It's Alabama, and maybe you want to be different. Maybe you want to stand out. Maybe you want to be the one guy that comes out at the end of the year if something crazy were to happen and say, I predicted this. I was talking to Matt Moscona about this last year, because he was picking Alabama. I was like, don't you want to be different? And he's like, no, because I want to be right. And that kind of stayed true to me this year, because most of the media members that picked Alabama, they're going to be right by doing that, I think. And that's just kind of have it laid out. And then I also have Alabama being Georgia in the SEC championship. I don't know if it'll be the same heartbreaking fashion as it has been the last 2 years, but I still see Tua edging out, I almost said Jalen, edging out Jake Fromm in that state SEC championship.
Did you choose Kirby Smart to be going with another fake punt?
I hope
the media didn't go with that though, do they? No, not at all.
Not for his sake. But you know what? Here was interesting. Another kind of thing that stood out during these things that Dunlap just sent us, who works with the SEC. Joe Burrow named third-team quarterback for the All-SEC teams. I thought that Kellen Mond would have probably picked up that award, but evidently media members think Joe Burrow is the third-team All-SEC quarterback over Kellen Mond.
So they got Tua 1, Jake Fromm 2, and then Joe Burrow 3. Very interesting. Very interesting. So, all right, so Arkansas is exactly where they were when the season ended as far as the media is concerned. And they're not looking at, where improvements are going to be and anything like that. They're just looking at hard, cold facts, wins and losses. And to me, this is also saying, this kind of confirms one of the thoughts that we'd had couple of weeks ago. There are a lot of media members in the SEC that think Arkansas is going to finish without a win in the conference again. Because really, I mean, the Arkansas-Ole Miss game, the second week of the season, is kind of like you already have the sense that it has the feeling of like a sixth-place championship game.
Yeah.
I don't want to use the term championship to describe that, but it's like the winner will have dibs on sixth place, when the season's over. Because where else are the other wins coming from? Maybe there's an upset here or there. That would be a huge surprise. So for me, as far as Arkansas is concerned, that's my main takeaway. Arkansas is still, as of right now, not even viewed amongst the SEC media as really an SEC team. They're a doormat.
Yeah, and that was what Vanderbilt was. That was what you could even say the Mississippi schools were. It's just such an embarrassing moment for the program right now. And again, this is not all on Chad Morris. It's not all on Brett Bielema. It's not all on John L. Smith. It's not all on Bobby Petrino. It's a combination of all of them. You could even lay some of the blame to Houston Nutt if you want to date it back that much. But this is a program right now where Arkansas fans, as you know, Phil, are very proud people. They love their Razorbacks. They do. But last season, you should have been embarrassed anytime you wore something with the Razorbacks emblem on it during football season because of how the program played with those losses, worst statistical season in the school's history. This is such a hard turnaround at this time period in the SEC West. You have the greatest college football coach of all time in the division. Now, luckily, you're not like Gus Malzahn and having to compete with him in your own state, but you still got to play him every year, and you play him in Tuscaloosa this year. You play Auburn, which is a tough, always just quality program. I don't know how good they're going to be this year under Gus Malzahn because of where he's at hot seat-wise. But the recruiting-wise, Phil, we talked about how great of a class Arkansas had recruiting. It still didn't make waves in the SEC. It's great for Arkansas standards, but you're having to recruit at a time with a national championship guy and Nick Saban who gets there. It's what seems like every single year. Guy that's 1-1 against Jimbo Fisher, and they have more resources over in College Station. You've had better success at the two Mississippi schools. I mean, this is just a terrible time to try and rebuild a program. And regardless of if you're making progress or not, it's because the other schools, Phil, are making just as much, if not more progress than you are based on where they were at previously before Chad Morris got there. It's just such a difficult situation for him. And he's not going to make excuses. He really hasn't to this point. But you can understand kind of if he did because of the situation he's been dealt with.
The vote totals we're looking at here, and I think the coverage over the entire week, and how a lot of the storyline, many of the storylines that we were following throughout SEC Media Days had to do with Alabama and Clemson, last year's championship game, and like a build-up to an expected, another meeting in either the college football playoff or really in the college football championship game. It's like Clemson, it's almost like Clemson was the 15th member of the SEC with as much as they were talked about. And they were talked about more than Arkansas was, and Arkansas is a full member of the SEC.
Doesn't seem like it, though.
A takeaway that I have from this week, Ty, is that, and it doesn't have anything to do with Arkansas, it's that as far as the SEC is concerned, and it's been this way for a long time, it is still Alabama and everybody else. And even more than that, it's Nick Saban and everybody else. It's like Alabama and the SEC are kind of in their own league with the SEC attached to it. It's like a Notre Dame ACC arrangement where, except they're not playing just 5 teams in that conference, they're playing a full schedule of 8 games. So, I mean, it's still, to me, and I don't know when this ends. I really don't know when it ends, how it ends. I mean, how many times are Saban's former assistants going to be asked, or is anybody ever going to beat you? Are you going to be happy if anybody ever beats Nick Saban? I mean, they're asking more questions about Saban than they are about the team that the coach is coaching right then and there.
It's kind of a bummer because I was looking at Trevor Lawrence's Twitter account. I don't know if you saw the kind of spat he had with Paul Feinbaum because there was a Clemson player that came out and said that Notre Dame was the best team they played all season. And then Feinbaum said something to the extent of Clemson doesn't know how to win. And then Trevor Lawrence quote tweeted, I can't remember if he said disrespectful or if he said, he said unprofessional is what he quote tweeted Feinbaum's quote on 24/7 Sports. So there's kind of that feud that I'm curious to see if that continues throughout the season. And I don't know if I can call it a feud, but just a little going back and forth between Feinbaum and maybe the best quarterback in college football, even though he's not in the SEC. Phil, they're garnering attention outside the conference, but they're still in the footprint because they're in South Carolina. We'll get into what Will Muschamp was asked later in the program and how irritated he was about that question. But when a team beats the crap out of the best team in the SEC, that's going to get talked about. And Nick Saban had fatigued when he was asked over and over throughout different interviews about that question. Actually, Chris Childers, SiriusXM, told us that before we went on with him earlier this week, how he was just like, he came in the SiriusXM room and was like, please just don't ask me about Clemson. And Chris obliged, but
he would have rather answered questions about last year's quarterback battle once again.
Exactly. I am kind of surprised, though, Phil. I didn't see a clip of Saban going off on anyone this week.
Didn't see any annoyed faces, any twisted faces. I watched his interaction with Paul Feinbaum, which was really awkward last year, and it was as friendly as it gets this year. And then late yesterday, a day after Alabama's done talking, you had Feinbaum up there calling it the Alabama apology tour. How essentially they were blaming everybody except themselves for the loss to Clemson.
Yeah, and you wanted to bring up, and you did last show, how Nick Saban kind of came out and was blaming coaches not having their focus on the game against Clemson because they were taking other jobs or leaving. But that's been a staple of the Alabama program because he has such a good assistant coaches that he tutors, and then eventually evolve into either head coaches or they move on to bigger and better jobs. It's difficult to keep up your game plan when you have other coaches that are focused on other things, but that was kind of his big thing, and people took that as Nick Saban making excuses.
Well, we'll have some more takeaways throughout this show on SEC Media Days, and we'll be talking with Aaron Torres, who is finally back on with us after spending last week getting married, and we're also talking with Jason Carroll, the sports director from Pig Trail Nation, in hour number 2. He was there with Tye, not next to him the entire time, but they were there at SEC Media Days, and one of them is a little bit better than shooting a basketball than the other, so that's something we can get into, too. Also, it is lunchtime, so go over to Hardee's. Get yourself a charbroiled double deal for $2.49 each. You get your choice of the double cheeseburger or the new bacon cheddar double, or backed by popular demand, it's the Hardee's Classic. Double the beef, triple the options, Hardee's, because it tastes better. We'll come back. We're going to talk about Mitch Petrus after this on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson. Follow them on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP and at Tye Sports Radio. This is the Morning Rush.
I'm still going to be a breast man, though. I'm just saying. Versatility is what I go for. The breasts are much more versatile.
Versatile?
On the chicken. Yeah, versatile. You can do a lot more with them. They're a lot more fun. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so there's the ending of our summer segment series here on food.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
What's up, everybody? This is John Neighbors of the Morning Rush coming to you live here from Hardee's at 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, where we're doing another qualifying lunch to eat a thick burger in 90 seconds or less and qualify for this year's football trip of a lifetime to watch the Chiefs and Chargers later this year in Kansas City. Check out the charbroiled double deals for only $2.49 with your choice of the Hardee's Classic, the bacon cheddar double, or the double cheeseburger. You can also try the garlic bread thick burger over at Hardee's. Again, we're over at 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. All you have to do is come on by, eat a thick burger in 90 seconds or less, and you are automatically qualified for the thick burger eating competition on August 17th. We've already had one person come in, he dominated it. So spots are starting to fill up. We're only going to take 10 of these people, so be sure you're the next one. Come on by. We'll be here till 2 o'clock this afternoon, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith at the Hardee's location for the thick burger eating competition.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC has over 200 pre-owned vehicles to choose from luxury to economy and everything in between, including over 50 great vehicles with payments under $250 a month, certain to fit your needs and your budget. And at Harry Robinson Buick GMC, you always get more for your trade. 50 vehicles with payments under $250 a month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off I-540 in Fort Smith.
What happened to paying one price and getting everything included? You buy an airline ticket and pay extra to bring a change of clothes, book a hotel room, and you're shelling out for Wi-Fi and overpriced bottled water. Shipping and handling. Really? Imagine my delight when I found out roadside assistance is now included with my shelter insurance auto policy. So if I get a flat tire or need a jump, I just call and they take care of me. No additional cost. Some restrictions apply, so learn more at shelterinsurance.com.
Ask shelter agents Marsha Cox or Phil Hicks about a free insurance review.
Enjoy happy hours 6 days a week at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Monday through Friday from 3 till 6 and all day on Saturday. Enjoy happy hour specials, including $1 off all drinks, and Paquito nachos are only $4. Your choice of beef, bean, chicken, or cheese. Happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 and all day on Saturday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 6 days a week. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Lou Holtz, Mark May, number 5. You better look at him a little closer. He's a football player. Got that wood right here.
Some people are big, some people are bigger than life, and then sometimes one person's able to put those two things together at the same time. And one of those people was Mitch Petrus, who passed away today way too early at the age of 32. Mentioned big, yeah, he was big, 6'3", 311 pounds. The last time he had donned a uniform for the New York Giants, I think the last time I'd seen him, he was a little bit bigger, but he kept pretty good care of himself for the most part. I had the pleasure of, you could say, working with Mitch Petrus on occasion at a previous radio station that I'd worked at before here at ESPN Arkansas. It was in Benton, and Wes Moore was the host of the radio program that I produced. When things were done differently then, Tye, than they are today, I was the one in studio, and Wes was the one in his apartment. So things worked out a little bit differently back then. And we had Mitch Petrus on every week to give his opinions on that week's game for Arkansas football. Also did a lot of talking about high school football, and he worked the sidelines for Fearless Friday, which is Fox 16 KLRT in Little Rock's football high school football show every late Friday night. This guy had energy that you just can't manufacture. It came from the inside of him. He had just a tremendous personality. And, I mean, aside from the fact that he was a walk-on at Arkansas that eventually fashioned himself into a fifth-round NFL draft choice and was able to stick around in the NFL for parts of 3 years, won a Super Bowl with the New York Giants, that in and of itself, I think, is a story that's very easy to root for and somebody that it's easy to pull for. But then when you had a chance to stand there, look up at him, because you had to look up in order to look at him, and get a chance to talk to somebody who had that effusive, joyful, funny, and unique and real personality, it was a tough way to wake up this morning when I saw the news coming out. The first thing I saw was a tweet from R.J. Hawk at 103.7 in Little Rock, and confirmed just shortly after that. And it's a sad day. It's a very sad day. I think for Arkansas fans that never had a chance to meet Mitch, because at 32 years dying of heat-related illness, it's just way too early, and it's a tragic way, and just not the way that anybody would want to go, and certainly not the age anybody would want to go. But then when you had a chance to meet him, it just hits home that much more and that harder.
Yeah, and shades of Brandon Burlesworth. You're talking about a walk-on that eventually had success at Arkansas and then made it to the NFL. That's a guy out of Carlisle, and Phil, I never had the pleasure of meeting him, but I was talking with Ben Creighton, who was a coworker of his down at Fox 16 in Little Rock, and
the two of them had some great segments together.
Yeah, and he echoed the same thing you did, how nice of a guy he was, how fun he was to work with, and how every time where we have to talk about one of these situations, how this was way too early and this was not his time. But you had some audio that you wanted to play, and I don't know if this is with your time at Mitch on the radio or when it was, but this just a guy that kind of he was loud and boisterous, but it wasn't fake, like you're saying. Like, it's hard. People don't realize how difficult being lively is, whether you're on radio or TV or whatever form of media you're doing, and not just fake it. If like certain people have personalities, they're more low key. They're kind of they don't really get up and down. They're just more of not monotone, but kind of straight laced and just steady. Well, it seemed like this guy's, based on the clips I've seen, he liked to get animated. He liked to get excited, and that's kind of a cool thing to see, that it wasn't fake and that it was 100% real.
Well, and some people just turn it on when the cameras get turned on or when the microphones are hot, and they save the personality for those moments. Mitch was like this all the time, or at least when I was with him off the air, he was exactly like this too. This is a clip from Fearless Friday on Fox 16 from the 2017 high school football season. Mitch Petrus working the sidelines of McClellan and North Little Rock. You get a real sense of the guy's personality here.
And I got to mention this. McClellan's high school band and Coach Moody are doing a great thing, because no matter what, that band over there is like, ring a chicken chat, bit, ring a chicken chat, boom. No matter if they win it or they lose it, they have great school spirit, man. I love them. They getting their dance on. We getting their groove on. North Little Rock, final score, 48-30 over McClellan. Wes, then back to you.
Can you give me another one of those?
Give it to me, give it to me. Now give it to me, give it to me.
Oh my goodness, we got to take it.
There's nothing like it. There really wasn't anything like it. Wes Moore was the other voice you heard there. And Wes, like I said, we would have Mitch Petrus on every week. And you never knew what he was going to be doing while he was on the air with you. He lived in Carlisle, in Lonoke County, still kind of central Arkansas, but to the east of Little Rock. And his family owned a farm. And legitimately, he did a couple of segments with us while he was working a combine. He actually had to put the cell phone down in order to lift something up. And this was live radio. We're hearing his combine make these incredibly loud noises. We're thinking, there isn't a football analyst in the country doing this at this moment or any other time. Nor would you want your analyst doing that on live radio. But because it was Mitch, we not just wanted it, we loved it. And it just spoke to his personality. This guy was a really hard worker in the field. And I wonder if that had to have something to do with what happened yesterday. I mean, we've got the heat advisory all over the state. It feels like 102 degrees right now in central Arkansas. From the reports I read in the Democrat Gazette, Mitch was working in the fields and in his family's shop all day long, reported feeling ill late in the evening, and was transported to Baptist Health in North Little Rock, where he passed away at about 10:30 at night.
You mentioned the combine story. That's taking multitasking to a whole nother level, man.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'll miss him. I really will. And I think all of us that did know Mitch will miss him. For those who never had a chance to hear him on radio or meet him in person, it's just one of those persons. You'll never meet anybody like him. I'll never meet anybody like Mitch Petrus ever again. Gone too soon at the age of 32. All right, we'll come back here on Halftime. We've got happier things to talk about with our good friend Aaron Torres from Fox Sports Radio and Kentucky Sports Radio right after this on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
The best midday show in the Natty State. You're listening to Halftime. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
What's up, everybody? This is John Neighbors of the Morning Rush coming to you live from Hardee's here in Fort Smith, 1820 Phoenix Avenue, where we're doing another qualifying lunch to eat a thick burger in 90 seconds or less to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime to watch the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers take each other on in Kansas City this upcoming football season. Yeah, it's a great event, folks. We're already 2 for 2 today. The spots are filling up quick. So if you want to get on this competition, you got to make it happen today. We're going to be here from 12 to 2. And while you're coming to Hardee's, you can also check out the Charbroil Double Deal for only $2.49. You get your choice of the Hardee's Classic, the Bacon Cheddar Double, or the Double Cheeseburger. You can also try the Garlic Bread Thick Burger, again, here at Hardee's. 1820 Phoenix Avenue, this Hardee's location in Fort Smith. We'll be out here till 2 o'clock this afternoon. Again, eat a thick burger, 90 seconds or less, and you're in the competition. You're qualified for it, so come on and make it happen. We'll be out here until 2 o'clock this afternoon, 1820 Phoenix Avenue.
For almost 70 years, Crabtree RV in Alma has been helping people in the River Valley get out and enjoy the great outdoors. And that tradition continues today with our brand new body shop, a first-class service department, and a friendly staff to help you choose from the top brands in the industry. So put away the devices and get out this summer to enjoy all that the natural state has to offer. With a little help from Crabtree RV in Alma, where your family's dreams come true.
Enjoy happy hour 6 days a week at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Monday through Friday from 3 till 6 and all day on Saturday. Enjoy happy hour specials, including $1 off all drinks, and Paquito nachos are only $4. Your choice of beef, bean, chicken, or cheese. Happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 and all day on Saturday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 6 days a week, Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps. Are you looking for an easier way to own a new Ford? If you want a better selection with more financing options, try Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. If you want more for your trade, try Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. If you have not had great service from other dealers, try Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. If your dealer isn't meeting your expectations, try Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford.
Harry Robinson, Salisol Ford.
And online at harryrobinson.com.
Bush Machine and Tractor at 7301 0 Street in Fort Smith is your one-stop shop for tractors, lawnmowers, and implements. Choose from Massey Ferguson, Branson, and TYM tractors. Implements from Woods, Battle Armor, and Modern Ag. Find a Gravely commercial mower and get the job done mile after mile and season after season. Bush Machine and Tractor is your #1 Branson dealer in Arkansas and works on all brands of tractors and mowers. Come see us or check out all our inventory at bushtractor.com.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Wide open in the middle of the field. Hayden inside the 20, inside the 10. Hayden's going to the house. The Hogs ran it right up the middle. Nobody was there. 38 yards. And the Hogs are a PAT away from tying this one up.
Back here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Currently efforting Aaron Torres. The honeymoon, I know he got married last week. The honeymoon isn't supposed to be for another couple of months. I would assume he's not having a honeymoon during college football season, so maybe the honeymoon happens in a few weeks.
It's in August, buddy. That's what he told me.
Okay, good. I mean, nobody that actually covers college football on a week-to-week basis, or in Aaron's case too, he doesn't just cover college football tightly and closely, college basketball even closer and tighter. So that really leaves you that only leaves you about like a 2 or 3 month window to do personal things in life, including honeymoons, getting married, and vacations and stuff like that. So Aaron is with us right now. It's been a couple of weeks, AT, and this is the summertime is what we would usually call the off season for all the sports that we talk about a lot. You got baseball and golf going on right now, but we do so much basketball and college football. Off season is also marrying season. Congratulations, my friend. How'd it go?
Thank you. It went very well, guys. I appreciate you guys reaching out. We haven't done the honeymoon yet. I know you guys just gave me the week off last week because you assumed that I was drinking a cold beverage somewhere on a beach, but everything went well. We got married July 4th weekend. We actually got married 2 weeks ago today. My in-laws did an incredible job of calling us at 6 a.m. to congratulate us on our 2-week anniversary, so I wasn't happy about that. because Friday is usually about the only day I get to kind of relax a little bit. But, no, it was incredible. You know, Tye will get there someday, you know, maybe 10, 20 years down the road, you know. But it was fun. It was fun to bring the families together. It was awesome. It was awesome. It really was. I don't really know what to say. Like, everyone always says, oh, how did it go? I mean, you know, everybody said I do, and then we had a bunch of drinks afterwards, so that was pretty fun. The Kawhi Leonard signing happened literally during the ceremony, so it was a little bit crazy. But other than that, it was a lot of fun.
Did you have cell phones going off in the middle of it with your writer friends there and yours as well? Because I kind of picture it like that scene from Navy SEALs when they're at the wedding and all of the beepers start going off that they've got to get back to base. Was that what happened at your wedding?
That's literally exactly what happened. I said ceremony, but it was during kind of it was towards the end of the night. It was even late on the West Coast. I think it was 10:45 Pacific time. Yeah, I had a buddy who actually works at FS1. He works for Colin Cowherd. He's a huge NBA guy. You know, he pulled me aside and he said, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George to the Clippers. And I just said, what? Because obviously at that point there had been no word that Paul George would be moving or would be interested in moving, whatever. So that was a little bit crazy to happen in real time. I'll certainly always remember where I was when that happened. But, yeah, that's exactly what it was. There's a picture somewhere. I don't know if I still have it. There's about 7 or 8 of us guys on the side, you know, off to the side of the dance floor, just all looking at our phones, kind of refreshing social media to try to get information. So it was crazy, and that's actually exactly how it played out, Phil, in terms of all the guys that love basketball were to the side just trying to get some updates. It was really funny, and it's something I'll definitely remember where I was when it happened.
So media days went out throughout this week in most of the conferences, if not all of them. I know the Pac-12 just has a media day at the end of the month. Tye was in Hoover, so he was there for all of this. The voting came out today, and here are my 2 takeaways. One, for the team that we cover mostly, Arkansas, nobody expects much of an improvement. They picked them dead last in the SEC again. Maybe they're right for whatever reasons. I think there could be a lot of reasons why you pick Arkansas dead last. And it's still Alabama and everybody else in the SEC, and it's been that way for a long time.
Yeah, you know, to kind of address each of them individually, you know, look, Arkansas, I know you guys have spent, you know, months now kind of looking ahead to this season. As an outsider, you know, look, I think Chad Morris is too good of a coach to let what happened last year happen again. But look, this is a rebuild, and you know, Brett Bielema did not leave this program in very good shape, but like, look, we all liked the Chad Morris hire when it happened, and I think he's going to figure things out as time goes on, but it is a process. And so, you know, I look at the SEC West, and the one thing I will say, the top of the division is incredible, but the bottom of the division, there's winnable games. I mean, Ole Miss, we know that, you know, they're in a very similar rebuilding state under Matt Luke. I've told Tye off there, I am not a Joe Moorhead guy at all, which pains me because he was actually the offensive coordinator at my alma mater, UConn. And when the job opened up about 2 or 3 years ago, I had a bunch of buddies that played under him that were really pushing for him to get into the head coaching mix. And he, of course, waited and ended up at Mississippi State. But I only bring that up because, look, there are winnable games in this league. I know we get so kind of wrapped up with the SEC and the greatness of the league. And, look, I think there's probably, if you talk about the top 15 teams in the country, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say 5 or 6 are from this league. But there are winnable games at the bottom. You know, Missouri might not be going to a bowl game, and so who knows what their demeanor will be like by the time Arkansas plays them later in the year. But I do think that there are winnable games. I'm not predicting, whatever, 6-2 in league play or anything like that, but I don't think they're going to get shut out like last year.
The newly married Aaron Torres is our featured Friday guest here on Halftime. Aaron, Michigan was picked by the Big Ten to finally win the Big Ten. And it was kind of surprising because I know that a lot of people are kind of curious to see what happens with Ohio State without Meyer and Ryan Day taking over. But you think about what they lost. They lost a lot on defense. Chase Winovich, I think Devin Bush. There's a lot of pressure building on Harbaugh. Are you going to buy into the hype that Michigan finally wins the Big Ten and, more importantly, beats Ohio State this year?
Yeah, Tye, it's a great question, obviously, especially in light of, you know, Harbaugh's comments, which kind of re-stirred the pot yesterday. You know, I'll be honest, Tye, last year was the year that I bought into Michigan. And listen, first of all, I'll tell you this. I think the Harbaugh stuff is a little bit overrated in terms of him being like this colossal disappointment. That second year that he was there, I actually think they were the better team than Ohio State, and they probably should have won at Ohio State. That was where there was that weird fourth down spot, and that would have ended the game, and Ohio State ended up winning. But to your point, Ty, I mean, it was on a silver platter for Michigan last year. Ohio State was a mess. For people who don't remember going into that Ohio State-Michigan game, Ohio State was coming off, I think it was an overtime win against Maryland, which was a terrible team. And so I'll be honest, I look at last year, and I know Urban Meyer was there last year, and I know Ryan Day is there this year, but last year felt like that was the year, as you said, Ty, number one defense in college football, a program in absolute turmoil at Ohio State. They got smoked by Purdue. They almost lost to Maryland. And if you can't do it last year, I'm just not sold that this year is going to be any different. Now, I think that Ryan Day, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered about him. I think we'll have a feel by the time that Michigan game comes around. But, I went out on the Michigan ledge last year. I picked them in the preseason to win the conference, to go to the playoff, and to obviously, of course, in that conversation, beat Ohio State. And I can't do it again this year, Ty. I really can't. So, I think there's a possibility that the Big Ten gets left out of the playoff. I think there's certainly a possibility that either Michigan or Ohio State does get in. But I've done the Harbaugh thing one too many times, and I know that Ohio State has a first-year head coach, but I'm just not buying that this is the pathway for Michigan to get into the playoff.
Aaron, you touched on Jim Harbaugh's comments about Urban Meyer. He was on the Tim Kwame's podcast with The Athletic, and he said controversy follows Urban Meyer, the different programs. Aaron, he's right, but I wonder why he would even bring that up, especially since he didn't have any success against Urban Meyer in the Big Ten. What were your thoughts on his comments, and do you think he even should have said them, considering they're probably not going to have to play each other again, at least until Urban Meyer gets back into coaching at USC?
Yeah, I was going to say, in the Rose Bowl in 2 years, Michigan, USC, let's go. Honestly, Ty, I'll be honest, I think you're exactly right. First of all, I think it makes Jim Harbaugh look really bad, ironically, because Urban Meyer is, of course, the one that had all the cover-up and all that stuff. But the reason I bring it up is, it's like you said, it's not new news. It's been out there for a year. And then, of course, obviously dating back to the Florida stuff, I mean, it's been out there for a decade. And so the only reason I bring it up is because, Urban Meyer's out of the game. And like you said, Jim Harbaugh went 0-4 against Urban Meyer. And would he have made that same comment if Urban Meyer was still at Ohio State and he had to play Urban Meyer this year? I don't think that he does. And I think that this was kind of it's not a cheap shot because it's factually correct, but I think this is kind of, it's always easier to poke at the bully when the bully's not living in your neighborhood anymore, and that's exactly what I feel like Jim Harbaugh did in this situation. What he said isn't wrong, but I just don't believe that he would have said that if Urban Meyer was still coaching at Ohio State. To me, it makes him look weak. It makes him look petty, and it makes him look, I don't know if scared's the right word, but again, he just made the comment knowing that he's not going to have to face Urban Meyer. I did not think it was a good look for Jim Harbaugh at all.
What did you think about the comments that Nick Saban gave, kind of about last year's championship game? It seemed there was more talk about last year's championship game against Clemson than anything else when it came to Alabama. And I know, reporters are wanting him to point the finger at himself a little bit and talk about things he's changed and this and that. Saban was more interested in I don't know if it was throwing coaches under the bus, but maybe he did, saying the coaches were worried about their next job, that he liked his team early in the season because they were focused. They weren't focused later in the season leading into the championship game. It just felt like, I don't know, is the word petty? Is that a good word to use?
Yeah, it's a great question, Phil. I really honestly at the time didn't make much of it. But, I was talking to my buddy Ryan Fowler, who hosts a, drive time show in Tuscaloosa. He's on air 5 days a week. And one of the really, I think, great voices that covers Alabama football. And he almost said that he was a little bit disappointed in the comments. And so in the sense that he just feels like it's very rare that Alabama looks bad on the football field. But when they do, it's always somebody else's fault besides Nick Saban's. In years past, it's been players aren't focused. Players are too focused on the NFL draft and their draft position. And then, of course, this past season, what happened against Clemson, it's the other coach's fault. And so, look, is there some truth to it? Listen, I'm sure there is. I'm positive there is, because this has happened in the past. Of course, the year that Nick Saban had to fire Lane Kiffin a week before the national championship game because he felt like he was too focused on the Florida Atlantic job. So I didn't have a problem with it. But I was surprised that some of the people that cover this team in Tuscaloosa kind of thought, listen, let's just give Dabo Swinney a little bit credit here. They were the better prepared team. They were the better coached team that night. They were more ready to go in that championship game, and it does fall on the head coach. And so, again, I didn't think anything of it, but I was a little surprised. I don't want to say Nick Saban is, like, taking heat in Tuscaloosa or anything, because he's certainly not. But I do think there's some people in Tuscaloosa that just wanted Nick Saban to say, you know what, we got beat up. We got to be better the next time that we face Clemson, which feels inevitable in these next couple of years in the college football playoff.
So you know I love your podcast, Aaron Torres Sports Podcast, sweeping the nation now for a long time. I'm going to give you 60 seconds for a promo for what you got coming up on Monday. Last Chance U debuting today. Last year's coach, Jason Brown, one of the more foul-mouthed coaches you'll ever be around. He's your guest on Monday. How'd that conversation go?
Wow, Phil, so you were listening, because I don't think I've even put it on social media yet, but that is true. I'm super excited. I talked to Coach Brown these past couple days. I'll say this, there are certain things legally he can't talk about because he is, in fact, in some legal trouble. But it was raw. It was unfiltered for people who don't know or haven't seen. He is no longer at Independence. He has been fired. But what I really enjoyed about the conversation was he doesn't apologize. He doesn't take back what he said. He doesn't feel like his coaching style should change. And it's funny, like, I kind of feel like I'm on board with him. I think that his track record speaks for itself. I'd be curious if Rakeem Boyd has said anything about it. But he's put a lot of kids in major colleges. They seem to do well once they get there. And, he kind of explicitly says, like, I have the hardest job in college football because I'm getting all these guys that other guys don't want, and I only have 18 months, sometimes a year, to get them right. And so it was a fascinating conversation. He apologized for nothing, and I can't wait for everybody to listen to it. I really do encourage people to subscribe to my show because I'm telling you, on Monday, there's going to be fireworks. He's unapologetic. It's about a half-an-hour interview, and I think everybody that loves Last Chance U is going to love it.
Well, I'll download it. I'll be listening, and we'll talk about it on Friday next week. AT, thanks, man.
Thank you guys both. Have a good afternoon.
Absolutely. Aaron Torres from Kentucky Sports Radio. And, hey, if you own a business that needs more security or just more curb appeal, check out the Fence Man. They specialize in custom installations, been doing it for over 40 years. Gates-controlled access card readers. Give the Fence Man a call for a no-obligations quote at 479-782-3936. Fence Man is a division of Quantum Property Services. Wrapping up the first hour next, ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
The best midday show in the Natty State. You're listening to Halftime.
Why go anywhere else to buy your next vehicle? Buy from Randall Ford. Randall Ford has the largest selection of F-150s, period. Randall Ford will not be beat on price. Randall Ford will pay you 10% above top book for your trade. Randall Ford will get you approved. Guaranteed. Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers, or online at randallford.com. The fourth oldest Ford dealer in America with approved credit.
3, 2, 1.
Introducing the limited edition Budweiser Discovery Reserve, brewed to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the moon landing. An American red lager with a light hoppy aroma, followed by a hint of toffee and a crisp finish. Inspired by our archival recipe from the time of the Apollo missions. Enjoy responsibly. 2019 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Discovery Reserve American Red Lager, Ale in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man, fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com, a division of Quantum Property Services.
The Capital One Saver Card presents the invention of the sandwich.
Sir, the snack you requested.
Ooh, look at that. Bread and meat and bread again. By decree of me, the Earl of Sandwich, I shall call it the Sandwich.
Brilliant, sir. The sandwich was once the next big thing in food. Now, it's the Capital One Saver Card. Earn 3% cash back on dining, 2% on groceries, and 1% on all other purchases.
What's in your wallet?
Capital One Bank, USA N.A.
Hardee's used to think bowls were useless dishware. Then we created the new Loaded Hash Round Bowl. Crispy potatoes, fluffy eggs, sausage gravy, melted cheddar, and crumbled bacon. Now part of our 2 for $4 mix and match deal. No longer are bowls just college football games you can nap to. Now they're loaded with Hardee's delicious breakfast favorites and in our 2 for $4 mix and match. Try a bowl today. They're actually really useful. Hardee's because it tastes better.
Available for a limited time during regular breakfast hours at participating restaurants. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
They don't build cars like they used to, and they don't repair them like they used to either. Today's vehicles contain advanced lightweight materials and safety features like crumple zones and airbags that help protect your family. Repairing them properly after a collision requires up-to-date training. Evans Body Shop has it. We're among only 10% of shops to meet the industry's highest training standards as a gold-class business. When you pick a collision repair shop, make the smart choice for your family's safety. Choose gold-class trained repair professionals.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging, the Xerox authorized agency and dealer in the River Valley. The 29 new models of Xerox business printers and copiers represent a quantum leap forward in office technology. They are designed for the way we work today, safely and securely. They're powered by Xerox Connect Key technology. They're innovative and affordable with both black and white and color devices available. For more information, give Dixie Digital a call at 783-6600 or visit us at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing Xerox document innovations to the River Valley.
Massey Ferguson tractors have arrived at Bush Machine & Tractor. Bush Machine & Tractor is proud to be the newest Massey Ferguson dealer in western Arkansas, providing you with a full lineup of versatile Massey Ferguson tractors. They're built with straightforward power, smart fuel economy, and upgraded control and comfort. Stop by and find a new Massey Ferguson perfectly sized to fit your property or farm at Bush Machine & Tractor, 7301 South 0th Street in Fort Smith, or visit us online at bushtractor.com.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
He lost it. And Arkansas, Tony Bua comes away with it, and Arkansas comes away with the win in 7 overtime.
Good things happening for former Arkansas quarterback Clint Sterner, who is also the topic of a great new hog pod that Bo Mattingly put out. He is going to be on Houston Sports Radio, hosting a new afternoon show Monday through Fridays. Sports Radio 610, one of the big sports radio stations in Houston that's making a big change. And they got Clint Sterner on middays now. That should be very interesting. All right, we'll come back. We got the second hour, including FOMO Friday, and Jason Carroll from Pig Trail Nation on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
What's up, everybody? This is John Neighbors of The Morning Rush coming to you live from Hardee's here in Fort Smith at 1820 Phoenix Avenue. We're doing another qualifying lunch to eat a thick burger in 90 seconds or less so you can qualify for the football trip of a lifetime to watch the Chiefs and Chargers this upcoming football season in Kansas City. When you're coming out, though, check out the Charborough Double Deals for only $2.49. Your choice of the Hardee's Classic, the Bacon Cheddar Double, or the Double Cheeseburger. You can also try the Garlic Bread Thick Burger here from Hardee's. We're going to be out here until 2 o'clock this afternoon. We've had 2 qualifiers already. We've had 4 people try, which means 2 and 2. 2 of them are going, 2 of them are staying home. So be sure you come out and try it. Give it a shot. You know, it looks a lot easier than what it really is, but a lot of you out there know you can do it, so come give it a shot. Again, 1820 Phoenix Avenue, the Hardee's here in Fort Smith. Eat a thick burger 90 seconds or less, and you are qualified for the football trip of a lifetime presented by ESPN 95.3.
We want to get you everywhere you're going this summer with the Keep On Summering sales event. Hi, this is David Neal with Road Chevrolet in Van Buren. Keep on summering with the all-new 2019 Blazer and save up to $5,000. Or how about a new 2019 Silverado starting as low as $28,988? You can also put a little spark in your life with a new 2019 Spark with payments as low as $199 a month with no money down. Take advantage before this amazing sale ends. Road Chevrolet, exit 2A off of I-540 in Van Buren. Find new roads.
See dealer for details. This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and B.F. Goodrich. Take advantage of our $29.95 oil change, which includes a 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality Michelin and B.F. Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, B.F. Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
Protection with possibilities. Have past losses made you cautious about taking on risk with your investments? Are you concerned that your savings are not generating the returns you need? If you are interested in protecting your money and capturing potential investment growth, contact Brad Lewis at United Financial Advisors at 242-7466 or ufadvisors.net to see whether market-linked CDs may be the right solution for you.
Securities and advisory service offered through Royal Alliance Associates, member FINRA, FTC. United Financial Advisors is a marketing destination.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
We're looking at very quiet weather as we head into the weekend. A mainly clear sky tonight. An overnight low will drop down into the low 70s. Friday, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures in the low 90s. We'll see the humidity start to increase for Saturday. Lots of sunshine. Our high in the lower 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 43 days.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas! I love everything here! Give me that thing here! Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson.
You do a fantastic job on the radio. There's no one else in this league I'd rather listen to, so keep up the good work.
And Tye Richardson.
Your show is really, really good, guys.
2 more quarters, and after that, most of you will never play this game again.
See ya, D-Mac. Hold on, Matt Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown.
How about that Heisman, Mark Jones?
How do you like
it? Wide open again.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Second hour halftime on a Friday, which means the 10th and final hour of the week here on your favorite midday radio show on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. A FOMO Friday coming up in just a couple of moments. We'll also talk with Jason Carroll of Pig Trail Nation at the bottom of the hour. Right now I want to go to the phone lines because our friend Robert from Fort Smith is in. And on today, a tragic day across Arkansas for Razorback fans with the untimely passing of Mitch Petrus. That's what Robert wants to talk about. Robert, how you doing today?
Hey, guys, that's really sad. I mean, sad anyway passed away, but he was good on Friday night to watch, after the high school sports. He was real just entertaining, and it was fun to watch him, and it just, as a young man, and it's just sad, and I just thought I'd bring it up to y'all, and y'all have a good one.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, when it comes to on-air personalities, and I don't say this, in a derogatory way, some of us are different off the air than we are on the air, and sometimes you try to magnify your personality on the air, just for entertainment purposes, because while on TV and radio people want to be informative and want to be correct with the information that they're going with and opinionated, you also have to be entertaining. So I don't say that in a derogatory way, but you can still tell sometimes when somebody is amplifying that personality or just changing themselves when the cameras go on or when the microphones are hot. Mitch wasn't like that. When you saw him in person and you talked to him in person, he was exactly the same way on the air. And the realness, the genuineness of that always came across And it doesn't matter if if you're 78 years old or if you're 32 years old. When a light like that goes out, it's going to hurt. But then you add on top of it the fact that he was just 32 years of age. It makes it that much more difficult to swallow. But it also tells you, you can't. I hate to try to draw a lesson from this. Mitch, I mean, he wasn't a highly conditioned athlete any longer. He was at one point. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how in good shape you are. In this heat, in this weather, which is getting hotter and hotter by the day now, you've got to hydrate. It's as simple as that if you're going to be outdoors for any length of time. And for Mitch, I think he was out there all day from what I read in the Democrat-Gazette. You've got to drink water. I mean, we laughed at when we were told that as kids. You got sick of hearing it. But it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. That's the only lesson I can glean from Mitch Petrus's untimely death.
I know the Arkansas Activities Association a few years back passed that you had to have certain water breaks in between certain elements of practice, whether it was, and this mostly applied to football, but it's important. And I remember when I was a kid, like just growing up playing different sports, parents, and kind of like you're saying, Phil, they were absolutely vigilant that you were going to either have a cold towel or drink water, because no one wants to have to go through this situation regardless of what age you are. And I think when you talk about the age, there's a threshold when you hit a certain age. Like no one ever wants anyone around them to die, like friends, family, whoever the connection may be. But when you have a guy, Mitch was 32, is that correct? Yeah, when you have a guy at such a young age, I mean, my mom passed away when she was in her mid-30s. No one ever wants to have to go through that type of trauma and experience surrounding them when at that age. It's death is not timely for anyone, but when you're that young, and I'm saying that at 24 years old, it's just a difficult situation that his family's having to endure right now.
Absolutely. Appreciate the phone call, Robert, and your thoughts on Mitch Petrus. Anything you want to talk about or text to us about, if you want to give remembrance of Mitch, if you knew him or anything like that, you can call or text us. 877-377-6963 is the listener line. If you do text us, please include your name and your location so we can give you your proper due. All right, so we'll get into what we usually do on this Friday, a little FOMO. And I'm going to start with the Yankees D-Rays game a couple of days ago in New York, when Aaron Boone had one of the most legendary ejections of all time. I would have liked to be the play-by-play broadcaster for this game. He says the guy who, give both of his legs to broadcast Major League Baseball. But when you get the hot mic situation that the Yes Network had, you get absolute gold when Aaron Boone came together with rookie plate umpire Brennan Miller, who was working only his fifth major league game, and he was having a really bad start. Now, I'll tell you, the start of this audio, you'll hear some banging, and I kept that in because the video of the banging is Yankee center fielder Brett Gardner taking his bat and pounding it on the top of the dugout as if he's banging on the ceiling as an angry neighbor in an apartment complex. He's just upset about the strike zone, and then you'll hear the back and forth, and there are some beeps.
And the best part about it is his teammates don't think anything of it. They don't pay any attention to him just absolutely crushing the bat against the clubhouse. It's just incredible that no one gives him bats an eye that he's doing this, because tirades after what people think might be missed calls, missed strike calls, missed balls, whatever, they tend to occur in baseball. And it's just funny that no one gives him any attention. He just goes about just like a normal everyday.
Well, let's just play that part first. Do you hear that? I mean, and you see the video. Let me play that again. That's Yankee Stadium. And the top of the dugout is literally moving with each second.
Really bad start. Oh, Brett, that's so far outside. That's so far outside right there.
Get out, Aaron! You can hear right there, Miller ejects him. Get out, Aaron. getting in his face. The term he used over and over again was our guys are savages in the bleeping box, which apparently Boone has been telling his team that they're savages in the box all season long. It just wasn't anything he had ever said to the media. But now they're probably going to make T-shirts about it and banners about it. He's talking about the ability of his Yankees to be great in the batter's box and be savage of controlling the strike zone. So he gets in front of this rookie umpire and shouts at him, "My guys are savages in the bleeping box, and you need to tighten this bleep up." It was a beautiful ejection. I don't think the audio actually sounded that good that I cut. I saw audio earlier that I couldn't get on my computer that was a little bit better, so I guess I got a little FOMO that I couldn't get the better audio. I think you heard the beeps better than you heard anything else, but I mean, it was a good 30 seconds of face-to-face. The umpire knew he was having a bad moment. He absolutely knew there was nothing he could come back to him with, and he just stood there and took it. He knew he was having a bad moment, and Aaron Boone wins that ejection. I got FOMO. I wasn't on the air for it.
That's so tough to react to a situation where you know you're wrong, and the person, whoever, guy or girl, coming to oppose you and coming to give you a piece of his or her mind, you just got to let him, because you know you're wrong in whatever situation. This doesn't have to be just applicable to sports, but it could be any part of life, and it takes some self-discipline to not open your mouth and just take it. But then, what's the ump's name again that tossed him?
Brennan Miller. Rookie umpire, 5th career major league game.
That's a tough one. Yeah.
By the way, the Yankees did come back and win 6-2. Talk about savages. The Yankees, 62 wins, 33 losses, second best record in the majors, best in the American League. That with the most active injured list in baseball. Yes, that's a savage team.
Speaking of tirades and speaking of yelling, I am very shocked that Will Muschamp did not go off on this Alabama reporter when asked the question, is South Carolina Clemson's little brother?
Rashad Snell, Alabama News Network in Montgomery. Coach, your in-state rival Clemson has become a national powerhouse, winning 2 out the last 4 national championships. Has South Carolina kind of became like the little brother to Clemson?
No, we're not the little brother. We're not. Yeah. Okay? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So talk about some uncomfortable laughs there.
Oh, my goodness. And I think that was in the electronic media room, so it wasn't in the main one. And for those who don't know, Kevin Trainor, who is within Arkansas Athletics, he is the mediator type that like points to different people. Hey, here, coach, answer this question. Luckily, I don't think Kevin had to deal with that situation, because that's such an awkward thing to have the the Stones, the Gall, whatever, to ask him that question. First of all, it's true.
Or the idiocy.
Yeah.
Honestly, but that's not the way you frame a question to a head coach.
Yeah, you can't do that. I don't know how you frame that question. Maybe, hey, coach, with Clemson having all this success, how much more difficult has it been to recruit inside your state and then to get recruits to buy into South Carolina? There's ways you have to go about it, and it's tough sometimes because you want to ask a solid, direct question where you can invoke a thoughtful response, but sometimes it doesn't come across that way. That definitely did. And the FOMO I feel that I was not in the room. Yes, I saw the video. Yes, I saw the replay, but I was not in the room with the other reporters when that question was asked live, because I think I would have lost it. I think I would have fallen on the floor and started laughing if that had been asked, if I had been there in person. So that's my first FOMO of the week.
Look, unless the head coach actually has a big brother on another team that he's going to be coaching against throughout the season, you never, ever, ever compare one coach's program as a little brother to anybody else in his face.
No.
You can do it on radio and try to joke about it and have fun with it, but that's an insulting way to ask a question. Somebody, either Rashad Snell, the reporter who asked the question, was trying to get that reaction, or he has no idea what he's doing.
I don't know which way I'm leaning, but yeah, those are probably, I think, the two most likely options of the outcome of that question.
I have FOMO that I'm not in Cooperstown this weekend because the National Baseball Hall of Fame is going through its induction ceremony on Sunday. Now, I've been to Cooperstown twice, and it's been a minute since I was there, I think the age of 17. My father and I drove from Pittsburgh, which was about a 7-hour drive. By the way, if you're ever going to Cooperstown for the National Baseball Hall of Fame, it takes effort to get there because the closest airport pretty much is Syracuse. So it's not like you're just, passing through. Getting to Cooperstown takes some effort, and that's one of the reasons I love that little town by the Finger Lakes in upstate New York. Edgar Martinez, maybe the best designated hitter of all time. Great right-handed pitcher Roy Halladay, who threw just the second no-hitter in the history of postseason baseball. Greatest closer in the history of the game, Mariano Rivera. Lee Smith, former closer with the Cubs, the Cardinals, the Angels, and I'm sure a couple other teams too, and Harold Baines, one of the great hitters of the 80s and the early 90s, going into the Hall of Fame. And Jason Stark, outstanding baseball writer, formerly of ESPN, now at The Athletic. It's the J.G. Spink Award for outstanding baseball writing over the course of a career. I would just like to be there in the summertime, and to see a tiny little town like Cooperstown swell with tens of thousands of people that there aren't enough hotel rooms for, not enough parking spots for, and it just seems like it would be, just for a baseball geek like myself, it's the perfect place to be this weekend. I got a little FOMO. I won't be in Cooperstown.
Speaking of holidays, and I know they aren't spelled the same way with the late Roy Halladay, how about Matt Halladay? I saw you like this tweet. Going to OSU, former major leaguer. That's his brother, correct? That
is correct. Josh Halladay is the longtime head coach. And Matt Halladay, now an assistant at Oklahoma. They've had a huge upgrade, by the way, in their baseball program, which really didn't need that much of an upgrade as far as the talent was concerned. But they got a brand new ballpark and a brand new assistant. I don't think Matt Halladay needs to be that third assistant coach that gets paid with the tens of millions of dollars that he made playing ball with the Rockies and the St. Louis Cardinals. So I mean that's a feather in the cap of a baseball program, to have a perennial all-star who doesn't have to get paid to coach these kids coming in. Great recruiting tool.
Phil, here's a generational gap moment.
Generational gap.
Coming up. Have you seen the new Top Gun trailer?
Watched it yesterday after the show. Tye, it was a fairly intense 2.5 minutes. Top Gun Maverick, 2020 is when it is released. I can't wait for this, and it looks like Maverick hasn't changed one bit. He's the same guy.
Oh, man. Here's 15 seconds, a snippet of the Top Gun trailer.
The end is inevitable, Maverick. Your kind is headed for extinction.
Maybe so, sir. But not today.
Oh, man. And this is a perfect tie-in, because we always love to play off the generational gap. A movie from your generation now being a sequel being made in my generation. This is one of my favorite movies. Still need to get Derek Ruskin and John Neighbors to watch this, because last time I checked, neither of them have seen this movie, which is just, I don't know how they haven't seen this movie to this point, because this is one of the best movies of all time, the ultimate guys movie. This is Goose isn't going to be in it. Obviously, he died.
He's dead. Yeah. How can he be in the movie?
Yeah, I know. So that's
Iceman, I think, is back. That's really great. I don't know if the love interest from the first Top Gun is back. That is Kelly. Oh, I'm forgetting her name, which I should not have forgotten from the movie Witness 2. Anyway, I'm excited about Top Gun Maverick, Tye, and I don't want to wait however long we got to wait until this thing comes out.
So I guess the only FOMO I have associated with the trailer should be dedicated to all the listeners listening right now who haven't seen the trailer. Like, you have to watch this. Don't do the Levitard and Stugatz dare where they dare you not to watch the trailer until the movie comes out. Please go online right now, unless you're on the road. If you're on the road, once you get to your destination, watch the 2.5-minute trailer. It's awesome. It's incredible. I'm assuming that 99% of our listeners are Top Gun fans. I'm super excited for 2020.
Kelly McGillis. That's who it was. That's who played Charlotte Blackwood, the love interest in Top Gun 1, which really was just Top Gun, because Top Gun 2 is Top Gun Maverick.
Got some good cast members, Phil. Jennifer Connelly, John Hamm. You mentioned Val Kilmer being Iceman, Miles Teller, Ed Harris. I mean, there's some marquee actors and actresses that are going to be this one. I mean, surrounding the GOAT, Tom Cruise. So I'm excited for it.
Release date set for June 26th, 2020, according to the internets. And it looks like, for his on it, it looks like there won't be a topless volleyball scene, but a topless football scene. So they'll continue that part of the Top Gun tradition as well. Tye, I got simple FOMO that I wasn't in media days with you. I was vacillating back and forth between either FOMO or JOMO on missing media days, because right now, I don't need another week away from the kids. I don't need another week away from my place. I did plenty of traveling from November through June, including right where you were in the Hyatt Regency there in Hoover. So I thought about putting Jomo out there because I just didn't need to be out of town. But then, it would have been fun to be around everybody there to show you how to perform karaoke properly without the beer in your hand. To make sure that maybe you would have actually defeated somebody at Pop-A-Shot instead of getting defeated by our upcoming guest. There would have been a lot more things I could have helped you with. But you did a great job there. I'm not saying you didn't do great work, because you did. You did fabulous work. I just got FOMO that I couldn't be there to help you out in a couple of cases.
And if we mentioned in the first hour, if Phil and I are both able to go down to Atlanta next year, we will be seeing Your Own Worst Enemy by Lit combined as a duet. Really excited about the potential of that, because for those who have watched the video of me up there, I need all the help I can get.
See, now that we've got this figured out a year ahead, we can work on this. We can rehearse. We can get some choreography. I think this is going to be something nobody's ever expected to see before. It's going to take SEC 2020 Media Days by storm.
It's going to be buck wild. Here's one of the things you missed over at SEC Media Days, and I'll close out our segment with this. There is a new documentary series called Saturdays in the South. And we got to watch it. Archie Manning, Steve Spurrier, Herschel Walker were all included. Emmy Award winner Fritz Mitchell put it together. It was fantastic. This is going to be an 8-part, 12-hour film series that debuts in 2019 this September. They're 90 minutes each episode. I got to watch it. The FOMO I have associated with it is I got to watch it, Phil, but I didn't get to watch any of these guys play live. And Spurrier, yes, I got to watch him coach at South Carolina, but that's not what he's known for. He's known for being the old ball coach at Florida and doing crazy stuff in the 90s, stuff that people never even seen before. Herschel Walker, yes, I've seen highlights, but I haven't seen that guy play live. He's arguably the greatest SEC player ever. Unbelievable, unique power and speed combined, just absolutely incredible. And then Archie Manning as a runner and passer. One of the tidbits that came out of the film with Eli and Peyton joking with their dads, like, Dad, you really didn't have that good of stats. He's like, well, yeah, we didn't run or throw that much at the quarterback position at the time. It's kind of cool how that's evolved. But seeing those three up there, they were actually there live. Laura Rutledge was MC of the event, along with Fritz Mitchell, who was also in attendance. It was really cool to hear them talk about the film, talk about the history of their schools, and just kind of see that side of the story, because there's cool backstories included within the film. But yeah, I still got a little FOMO that I didn't get to actually watch these guys play and coach in their prime.
Tye, will our listeners have some FOMO, especially in the heat these days, if they don't cool off with a Burton pool?
Yeah, you got to take advantage. Burton Pools and Spas right now is offering up to $5,000 off fiberglass in-stock in-ground pools. Don't wait. Come in and talk to us today about this special event going to the end of July. You want to save money? Well, here's your chance. Up to $5,000 on all fiberglass in-stock pools. It's in Fort Smith, 6121 0 Street, and also in Springdale, Northwest Arkansas, 725 South 48. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun. Check them out online at burtonpools.com, and you can check them out on Instagram as well.
We'll come back. More halftime after the break on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Good coaches win. Great coaches cover. You're listening to Halftime. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
What's up, everybody? This is John Neighbors of the Morning Rush coming to you live here from Hardee's at 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, where we're doing another qualifying lunch to eat a thick burger in 90 seconds or less and qualify for this year's football trip of a lifetime to watch the Chiefs and Chargers later this year in Kansas City. Check out the Charbroiled double deals for only $2.49 with your choice of the Hardee's Classic, the Bacon Cheddar Double, or the double cheeseburger. You can also try the garlic bread thick burger over at Hardee's. Again, we're over at 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. All you have to do is come on by, eat a thick burger in 90 seconds or less, and you are automatically qualified for the thick burger eating competition on August 17th. We've already had one person come in, he dominated it. So spots are starting to fill up. We're only going to take 10 of these people, so be sure you're the next one. Come on by. We'll be here till 2 o'clock this afternoon, 1820 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith at the Hardee's location for the thick burger eating competition.
Hey, back again in World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH. Phone has been ringing off the hook with customers upset with other providers that don't have all the local channels. Ben, right now, you can double the gift card if you've lost your local channels and you're ready to move to DISH.
Now, call 877-305-DISH or come by the corner of Phoenix and Rogers Avenue. If you're upset because you lost your local channels, you might have missed the World Cup soccer match, you might have missed the Major League Baseball All-Star Game or the Home Run Derby, call us at 877-305-DISH. DISH is allowing us to double our gift card offer. We're doubling the $100 offer. But you got to call us this weekend to get installed, 877-305-DISH. And it's a 2-year price lock, which means you're going to save money anyway on your monthly rate.
And now this is a $200 offer from DISH.
That's right, but you got to call us this weekend, 877-305-DISH. And as a bonus, we'll throw in the multi-sport pack free, which includes the NFL Red Zone.
877-305-3474. Have all the channels you need for football season by calling WOW now. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474.
Proclaim Construction has been in the industry for a combined 50 years, and they can meet any needs you may have for your home or business. Proclaim is your insurance restoration specialist, and they're offering a no-cost, limited-time free roof inspection, and they'll make your insurance claim if necessary. Whether it's basic repair, remodel, or complete makeover, Proclaim Construction guarantees your satisfaction with the best warranty in the business. Proclaim has references for your peace of mind, and they're licensed, bonded, and insured for your protection. Call 479-407-9598. Why go anywhere else to buy your next vehicle? Buy local. Buy from Randall Ford, the 4th oldest Ford dealer in America. Right now at Randall Ford, employee pricing is back. You pay what we pay. At Randall Ford, you'll find the largest selection of new and used vehicles anywhere around. Plus, at Randall Ford, you always get top dollar for your trade. Why go anywhere else? Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers, or online at randallford.com. Home of the lowest price guarantee.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands and BF Goodrich. Take advantage of our $29.95 oil change, which includes a 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality Michelin and BF Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
This is the Morning Rush.
I don't want to see where you go on the road, you're getting blown out so bad that the commentators on the television broadcast talking about the little fat kid that's eating a hot dog in the stands instead of talking about the game. It's set up to where...
Okay, then.
I'm just saying. Like,
they got to be fat. Yeah, I mean, why are you body shaming?
Because that's what makes it funnier for people is when they see a fat kid doing it. That's my point.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN.
And potentially Rakeem Boyd. There are a lot of other really good running backs out there, but there was something about Boyd. If he stays healthy only, that's the only way, that I think potentially you could see Rakeem Boyd get on one, maybe as a third teamer. It'd be a little difficult to do. 5 might be a little bit of a stretch, but I could see 4 without question. Also, some baseball news that the deadline for Major League teams to sign their draftees passed last week. Arkansas did lose one player from this upcoming class, not a freshman that was supposed to be coming in, but Chet Allison, who had been blowing it up in JUCO ball in California, signed with the Angels. I think he was drafted in the 20th round. That one took the Razorbacks by surprise. I know Dave Van Horn had talked to me personally about Allison and could see him starting in the outfield or potentially at first base next year, but not going to happen. He's playing minor league ball with the Los Angeles Angels. But even with that, Arkansas still is ranked with the 5th best incoming freshman class for the 2019 season. That puts them 4th in the SEC, according to Perfect Game. Vanderbilt won the national championship, and they have the number 1 class in the country. They also, by the way, are ranked for the top class next year, where they've got Arkansas selected 2nd. So other teams that are ranked ahead of Arkansas: Mississippi 2nd, Florida 3rd, Georgia Tech 4th, Arkansas 5th. Miami, Mississippi State, Tennessee, Louisiana State, and Auburn round out the top 10. Some players to pay attention to, though who knows if they'll get a lot of playing time next year. Kason Tollett, probably going to be a great catcher for Arkansas at a Little Rock Christian. Looking at Blake Adams, hard-throwing right-hander out of Springdale Harbor. And potentially you could see Jason Hodges who's right out of Chicago, a power-hitting outfielder who did get drafted by Cincinnati but elected to come to Arkansas. Hodges is a guy who's supposed to be able to hit right when he comes on campus. And there was other news involving Arkansas baseball, not good news either. We heard this a couple of days ago, saw a report from Andrew Hutchinson from Rivals that designated hitter / outfielder Matt Goodhart